We've got some time for email. We're going to be answering your questions, and you've got the first one.
I do. This is from Cammie, who says, how do you distinguish God-given, purposed by God dreams from your own dreams?
Cammie, that's a great question. I think in the days of modern psychology, we've gotten away from the concept that God gives dreams to people, and I think we need to recapture that. Certainly when you read the Gospels and read the Old Testament, you find God speaking through dreams. Joseph the dreamer, he had lots of revelation from God through dreams. You have Daniel interpreting dreams. And so I think it's important. Now, in my own life, I've had some God-given dreams, and literally they changed the direction of my life. I was a lawyer, and from a dream, I was literally driven into the mission field.
How did you know the dream was from God?
It was so obvious that it was from God.
You knew. You knew that you knew that you knew in your spirit.
There was, there was no doubt. I had been wrestling with an issue. Do I do this? And I actually come to the conclusion that I needed to continue practicing law and then do missions part-time. And it was a dream that, no.
Nice try, Gordon.
No. And then the whole reason I went to the Philippines was yet another dream.
Really?
While I was in the Philippines, had a dream of Filipinos going out as missionaries. And so it was so obvious in the dream itself that it was from God. But if you're wondering, if God confirms His word, and the Bible says it's from two or more witnesses that a thing is established. And so wait for that. You can even ask for that. And if you have doubts, just as Gideon had doubts, God responds to the fleece. So you can literally test Him. Is this really from you? And I don't want to go off on my own imagination. I don't want to go off on too much pepperoni pizza. I want to make sure it's from you, God. And if it's from you, I'll follow it with all my heart. If you do that, then God will respond.
Yeah, we should also mention that when you do it, if it becomes very, 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 very difficult, that doesn't mean you heard wrong.
That is actually a sign that it is from God. Now, there have been plenty of projects I've started that you get in the middle of it, and you better know. Yeah. You better know more than just in your knower. You've got to have the perseverance to see it through. There were many times in Manila where it was literally overwhelming, and a faith walk on a daily, if not hourly basis. And when you're lying in a bed dying from malaria, and you've got to know God's in it.
But boy, when it's all said and done and you see God's hand move, it's pretty astonishing. Things
it is
accomplished
phenomenal.
That you could never have done yourself.
And I came up with a slogan in my days in Manila: if there were no struggles, there would be no victories. Yeah. And so it's the magnitude of the struggle that determines the glory of God. And yeah, persevere.
This is Lynette, who says, if God gives us the desires of our hearts, can God heal my husband if I'm praying and believing for him, but he has lost all faith and hope?
It's a wonderful story where Jesus healed a servant girl, and she wasn't even present. The centurion came to him, and he's walking on the street. The centurion says, I'm not worthy that you come to my home, but if you just say the word. So whose faith was working there? It wasn't the servant girl. It was the centurion's faith. And Jesus marveled at the faith. I haven't seen this kind of faith in Israel. So you can believe for someone else's healing. They don't have to. You can believe. And when you believe, you get the answer.
Okay, here's one. I hope we can do this quickly. Keller says, my friend worries about going to hell because he's dating a girl who is mixed race. Is there any place in the Bible that says we shouldn't race mix?
There is no place in the Bible that says that. Point to the story of Moses. Moses married a Cushite woman. Now, was he accused? Did people complain? Was there all kinds of controversy? Yeah. But God honored it, and so God didn't think it was a sin. And that is probably the most famous mixed-race marriage in the Bible.